LEMME GET Nos Portes, which sounds more Spanish than it does French, but it was supposed to be French in honor of Lille Regionals this weekend. And that is French for Whopper Wednesday is upon us, because Whopper Wednesday is upon us. And my favorite high calorie meal is on discount today, Wednesday, for actually an outrageous price now in Canada. They're like, I remember the Whoppers used to be like $3. Now they're, it's like $6 for the burger itself.
It's like at that point,
It's
it's like why would you not just
ridiculous.
go to like a better burger chain? Like it's just a local place or
Yeah.
like yeah. They're not even
Dude, as
competing
much
on
as
price
I
anymore.
well, here's the thing, like as much as I like boost up Whoppers, people assume that I eat them like every day, and like the truth is I don't. I really don't think they're very good. But I just think it's jokes. Like it's just Whopper Wednesday. So in honor of Wednesday, I guess I'll go eat a Whopper today and tweet it out with this video when it goes live. Speaking of which, actually, I want to give a shout out to Endgame, as we always do. Endgame, just because I like to say, let me get that. Shout out to Endgame. I don't know if there's sleeves in stock, but check down below. There might be. There could be potentially.
Last time I checked, like last week, there's like one color left. So like, if you guys want some,
Yeah.
go take a look.
Roll the dice. I wanted to start this episode off actually by giving a little bit of a different perspective to Pokemon. So I've been seeing a lot of stress on my timeline recently. A lot of people kind of going through it, whether it be bans or uninterested in the format, or like kind of this new Worlds format's kind of turning people off. I'm seeing a lot of people kind of walk away from the game. Kind of surprising. I know a lot of content creators I've talked to as well have kind of mentioned like, hey, my numbers are down all across the board. So I don't know, Kieran, have you been finding that too?
Not really. I just think Jake
No?
Earhart quit the game.
Yeah, that's enough for me, I guess. I wanted to actually give a shout out to people who are touching grass, guys. I want to spread the importance of touching grass from time to time. So I think a lot of the time we get caught into this FOMO of like, oh man, I got to play Pokemon all the time. I'm going to lose track of the format, whatever. I want to normalize the idea of walking away. Normalize the idea of walking away for a week, giving yourself a reset, going and doing what you enjoy, be healthy, be outside, and just kind of remove yourself from the game. And I think that's kind of a place I've been in right now. Last couple weeks, I've barely touched the game. Like that means no coaching, no league challenges, like nothing. Like I played a local last week, and that was about all I did. But I've been burning like 1,000 calories a day. Feel great. Eating a lot of food, and like catching up on time where you don't normally have because you're spending your weeks at league cups or events or whatever. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that. Normalize that. Don't be afraid to walk away whenever you feel kind of sick of the game or tired of the game. And I've been seeing a lot of negativity on my timeline, so I just want to put that into the universe because I know some people are very afraid to walk away.
Nice.
Sorry about that rant. I just need to kind of let that
No,
out there.
very
I'm
good.
tired of seeing stressful people on my timeline. I want people to be healthy and happy.
Yep, agreed.
Um, yeah.
Uh,
So what we have this week, we got Lille regionals that just happened. So Kieran, do you have some initial thoughts on this tournament? Because like honestly, I have a ton, but
no, I think I was excited for James to get his first win. I think he's long overdue, so that was great to see. And yeah, I think just Regidrago. It was Regidrago's tournament. That was pretty much it. I didn't watch that many games. I watched the top 8 game between Lugia and Regidrago. That was actually a decent game to watch. Some interesting plays, like good and bad on both sides. I watched like one game of I think I watched game 1 of the finals, but I was like I had to go to a League Cup, so I couldn't watch that much. So.
There's a League Cup on, was it Sunday?
It was Sunday. It was at it was in Etobicoke at Emmett's Toy Stop.
Oh, it's a good story.
And before we go into this, I just want to I'm just gonna hype myself up, guys. I beat an Iron Thorns with Lugia at this tournament. So.
What? Okay, so take me through this. What happened there?
Okay, so I was 2-1. I got up paired to this guy who's 3-0. It's 5 rounds. So I asked the guy if he wants the ID because I'm like, oh, he'll just make cut. Like he can just ID with me, that I can just have a win and like I can dodge thorns. He probably wants me to make top 8 because that's a free win. And the guy's like, no, I'd rather play. And I was like, okay. I'm not gonna like pressure this guy or anything. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just go home, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like a newer player because like he like benched too many thorns. Like he wasn't spreading his energy properly. So eventually, like I Ono'd him, and I just like sat there and like I just boss trapped one of his Iron Thorns. I just sat there every turn passing until I built like this massive weird ear, and then like the weird ear just swept him. And I also had a Chinchino to take the last prize. So it was like,
what the hell?
So yeah, and then in top 8, I was like promptly rewarded by facing a different Iron Thorns player. That one I did lose, but it was pretty funny. I beat Iron Thorns with Lugia with 0 attacks, just my Baltimore list.
Damn.
So
You lost Iron Thorns very promptly.
Yeah, I remember it was funny because I remember I texted you guys. I got deck checked while I was. I texted you guys. I'm like, oh guys, like I'm gonna lose. This guy doesn't want ID with like thorns. And I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, actually, guys, I won.
That's crazy, bro. I'm like trying to think in my head how badly you can mismanage Iron Thorns to lose to Lugia, but I guess it's a learning experience for our bro over there. So
Yes, there was that, and then like I also think he got like a little unlucky because he had to go draw pass for like 5 straight turns pretty much. So I was like, okay, nice. Also, before we move on, I want to give some more League Cup shoutouts. So in the Shift Gear Discord, some people are posting. Josh Grief got his first League Cup win. So shout out Josh. Riley won with Lugia. Noah won with Lugia. So lots of League Cup winning for Shift Gear enjoyers this weekend. So congrats to everybody.
Lots of League Cup winning. Yeah. The Discord's always providing us with like the most awesome entertainment. Like people just being like, hey, if I lose this League Cup, it's your fault. If I win this League Cup, it's thanks to you. So it's a real roller coaster for us in there. But yeah, shout out to the League Cup enjoyers. That's awesome. I wanted to give a non-shout out to the Boston Celtics, just as we start this. They set the NBA record for the most threes in a game tonight. NBA tip-off, the 29. Yeah. And Miles Bridges looks like he has another set of arms that did not belong to him previously. Sorry, not Miles Bridges. Holy, bro. I was about to get this guy indicted. Yo, that's the bad Bridges, bro. That boy's in Charlotte. I don't even know why I said Miles Bridges. But yeah, he looks like he's a different set of arms. I don't know what's wrong with him. The whole Knicks team, I think Stephen A. like kind of just grinched them to hell today, and maybe jinxed them a little bit, but they looked pretty bad. So not shout out to the Boston Celtics. I, as a Toronto resident, am not a fan of any team from Boston. I never will be. My Leafs got absolutely battered tonight, 6-2 by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Shout out to NAIC. And yeah, I'm really upset. And as we record right now, I think LeBron and Bronny are making history.
Oh, good for them. So, nice. I actually didn't watch the NBA game today. I was at trivia night. So
you're very lucky.
Nice.
I envy you.
I checked the score while I was there, and I was like, all right, I'm glad I wasn't watching that one.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
All
right, let's hop in.
Yeah, enough off top, everybody. So yeah, Lille happened this weekend. It was won by James Cox with the Regidrago. Fellow Australian Kaiwan also got top 8 with it. Then we had Alberto also in their top 4. Then Nina just out here, she lost the asymmetrical game, I'm pretty sure. So we kind of had like 4 Regidrago decks in top cut. And it seemed like it was Regidrago's tournament when I was looking here at the statistics. Like, yeah, it was like 13% of day 2. Shout out Pokehive. They have kind of here the, what's it called? The matchup spreads. Like it had a 65% win rate in day 2. Also, I realize I'm not sharing my screen with you, Neil. So
it's okay. I don't feel. Thanks, man. Now I feel included.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, like, it just had such a great weekend. I think one of the things to think about is Lost Zone probably re-entered the metagame. So Regidrago just pretty much picked up an auto win. And I think the deck was already well positioned, as we talked about a lot. Raging Bolt is really its only bad matchup. So yeah, it just felt like Regidrago had a good tournament. So Neil, my question for you is Regidrago the best deck in the format? Like, did it just never stop being the best deck and then people just stopped playing it, type of thing?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I agree with you. I don't think there's a clear BDIF at the moment. I think Drago's good. I think Drago's always been good. I think Lugia is good. I think like there's a bunch of decks that you could kind of argue here for this top spot, but yeah, it definitely felt like Drago's tournament. It felt like it's one of those decks, man. It's like some days it works, some days it doesn't. I've talked to so many Drago players who love the deck one day and hated the next, right? And that's kind of what the deck is. So it's nice to see it kind of have its moment of fame. I know it's had a bunch of them in the past already, but in this format, it kind of seems like it was kind of nearing that breakthrough and never really got there. But it's cool to see Drago do well. I think a lot of it is due to what was around it. And you did mention well, I don't know if you mentioned a lack of Raging Bolt, but you mentioned Raging Bolt in general. Like I kind of saw a lack of it towards the top tables there. So that definitely helps.
Yeah, so it had day 2, it was only 7.5% of the meta, which is way less than we've seen everything else. So it's basically that's your worst matchup near the bottom. Also, another thing that I think I saw someone say, and I think it's true, I think that was Regidrago's first major event win. I mean, I guess it wasn't really like tier 1 until Worlds, and we've only really had like 3 or 4 major events, but yeah, Regidrago popping off.
It feels like it's been good forever, though, and I guess it just hasn't, has it?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's been. I think because it was so popular when it was the best in like the Shroud of Fable, and then I guess this far people played it less. And then like at the top this tournament we had Lugia had a 16% or 15.5 meta share in day 2. There was 2 in top 8, so I mean it just feels like Lugia just keeps going. Like every region Lugia does well. I personally actually think, Aneil, that Regidrago and Lugia might be the tier 1 of the format. I think those two decks might be better than everything else.
Yeah.
And I think
I
they
think
kind of have the
Turtle or
results.
Palkia deserve a shout too, somewhere in the distance. But I agree with you. I think those two kind of stand up above everything else. I think Bolt should be up there. I just don't know why it isn't at this point, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know. I think Bolt is the most popular deck. I mean, it's won a regional, so I guess that's fair. You can say. I mean, yeah, it beats Regidrago, so maybe it is up there with them. But it just
Yeah,
seems
just
to me
feels like it's
that
underperforming.
yeah, it seems to me like Lugia has been consistent, like across every region, of seeing results, and then Regidrago is just a good deck. Yeah, the rest of the top 8 wasn't that exciting. I mean, like we had a Dragapult Pidgeot, which I guess is actually something to talk about because
Mhm.
last time Dragapult did well, it was just the not Pidgeot version, like it was the Japanese version. So now like a return to Pidgeot. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm
This
kind
is
of
interesting, actually. This list is really interesting.
yeah. So come on, I watched a couple of his games, played very well. Like the game 1 of the finals I watched, he found his win condition against the Lugia match I watched. He did this one play where he like templed Alakazam damage up and like Devo to knock out Chinchino, which was really cool. Yeah, the
Sick.
list is yeah, it's pretty much I think what I would expect, except maybe the headquarters is an interesting card. So Neil, you play more Dragonpult than I do, so what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the headquarters is absolutely necessary, in my opinion. It's always felt like that card that you kind of need at the end of the games. The one thing that kind of stands out for me with this one is you have 5 gusts, which is really, really interesting. You get 3 counters, 2 boss. The spot, I can't even find what spot, like where they took out a card here from the base list, but
There's like
there's
no
vacuum.
Lumineon. Uh,
Yeah,
there's no Super Rod. Like only one stretch, very light on recovery. Actually, only one
2
stretcher.
ultra, 3 nest as well.
Yeah,
I guess there's a heavy ball there, but yeah, like you have the vacuum in there as well, which is really, really interesting. So I like the additional gust. I think the gust is really, really big, especially in this format, like where you want to keep kind of keeping with that tempo. So one problem I was finding a lot is I needed to gust a lot of turns where I just didn't have enough counter catchers or whatever. So this is a cool approach to the deck that I think kind of turns it upside down. The other thing I noticed is no Dusknoir, and this might turn a lot of people off from this deck. I actually have always thought that the best version of this was without Dusknoir. Feels like Dusknoir kind of janks up the deck and what it's supposed to do. I understand it has that explosive ability to kind of just wipe boards entirely by itself, but it feels like kind of sticking to its guns. And like we know how strong Dragapult is as an attacker from its time in Regidrago. So like I think sometimes you just got to keep it simple, and this is a great example of just keeping it simple. It's a very basic list with just max consistency kind of everywhere, and you see how well this did. And I wonder if this is going to make more people pick up Dragapult.
yeah. Actually, I like the triple counter catcher. Like whenever I watch Dragapult or when it's played against me, it always feels like you need one turn where your opponent doesn't like take a knockout or do something. And that's normally
Hmm.
like you like counter catcher like their Fez, don't knock it out, Iono. And I guess the headquarters are kind of like continuing that idea. Like it's kind of like okay, let me headquarters, Iono them, like gust something up. You're basically saying like you need all these resources to kind of like get out of it. Um, yeah, I think interesting list. You're definitely trading off power for like consistency with the Pidgeot, just being able to do that more consistently, right? Like more consistently do stuff like Gust and then Trap. They don't play Turo, or sorry, they don't play Collapse as their stadium. Like Turo's their only way to pick stuff up if you have Rotom or Fez, but it's probably fine. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think we're gonna see. I mean, we already see like people go back and forth on which version of Dragonflip to play. So, and if I look at
Yeah.
the statistics, it looks like the like Dragapult Dusknoir is still more popular at 5%, and then where's Dragapult Pidgeot? Or no, they just put it all together.
It's all together, yeah.
So if I open like the detailed card breakdown,
It
oh,
doesn't
so
really
see,
tell you too much because there's like
yeah,
multiple Pidgeots and Pidgeys, right?
true,
So kind of.
yeah.
But
Oh
I'll
no, no,
tell you
you
what,
can
guys.
you
Like,
can look here. You can look here. Like
oh, there you go.
there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 in day 2. 2 are Pidgeot. So.
Mhm. I'll tell you what, guys. Like, this deck is really strong. I know a lot of people kind of on the fence about this. This deck is good, and I know we've been preaching this forever, but this deck is good, and I think what's holding it back. Oh my God, that's an Arceus.
RCSV star,
Uh,
interesting.
what's holding it back, and we talk about this all the time, is I think the top players are not playing this deck. There are, I think, better options out there, but guys, like seriously, this should kind of show that this is a very strong deck. This archetype is good. Dragapult as an attacker, if you play Drago, you know that you're attacking with Dragapult like 80% of the time, right? Like this attack is very, very strong. And you partner it with Pidgeot, something that can find anything at any time. And you have Counter Catcher, you have Iono, in a lot of cases you have Roxanne as well. You can make some really, really cool comebacks. So I believe a lot in this deck personally. I've been a little disappointed to not see it do as well recently, but I think this might be the start of something big for Dragapult.
Yep, I think it's like just a solid deck in the meta. And like we said, there's a bunch. Snorlax got top 4. They played Diancie, which is interesting. So I mean, they're not really playing the Lugia techs like the Sinnoh and all that, but I guess maybe like Diancie is their thing. Like maybe it's enough if the deck's playing 1/1 Chinchino, you can knock out the Chinchino, and then maybe they just can't deal Cornerstone Mask or something. So interesting to see this in there. So maybe it's like you're saying, like I'm not going to clunk my deck up by putting all that Temple package in, but I'll give myself a small chance against Lugia, which is interesting. This was cool to me, Banette. I mean, I feel like that deck has had so much hype lately. A lot of people are like saying it's so good, which I think it is pretty good. It still hasn't got top 8. It keeps knocking on the door. So, yeah, it looks like it's just Mateus's list. So I think Mateus is probably like the person for this deck, and it seems like his list is just understood to be kind of where you go. I've played around a bit with the deck. I actually really like it. I do think it struggles into Lugia, and then like if people know what they're doing and like they don't bench too many liabilities, sometimes you have trouble getting stuff trapped. But this deck punishes misplays like so well. So very cool.
Yeah, this deck's really cool. I'm surprised to see it not higher right now. And I know I mentioned I just like took like a 2-week break, so I'm kind of like out of it a little bit. But and shout out the shift gear, man. If it wasn't for the shift gear, I'd be probably driving down the streets singing both parts to Promiscuous Girl right now at the top of my lungs and not thinking about Pokemon. But shout out to the shift gear for bringing me back and making me play Pokemon and think about it. So I mostly expected Banette to be at the top by now. I'm a little bit surprised to see it still down there. What did you think I was saying?
That's just such a random thing to say. Why would you be doing that?
Dude, shout out the shift gear, bro. I would be out. I would definitely be out right now.
You'd be
for sure.
Promiscuous Girl of the year right now. For what reason?
Both parts of it, because I'd be out doing something. I don't know. Like I just wouldn't be thinking about Pokemon.
Why would you specifically be singing that song on the streets right now?
I'm not on the streets, bro. In my car as I'm driving wherever.
In your
car,
bro.
Bro, I live in suburban Toronto. I can't just walk around the streets. There's nothing around. I get attacked by a wolf or something, man. I can't do that. Yeah, no. I was just I'm not specifically Promiscuous Girl. I mean, maybe
it's a good song.
Great song. I mean, like top 10 song. And like when you think about duets and like stuff you can go rattle one for one with the person next to you, it's Promiscuous Girl and No Air. Those are the two songs, right? Like you ever met someone who can sing every lyric of the Chris Brown part to No Air? They are on another level. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, I expected Banette to be a little bit place him a little bit higher right now. So I'm a little bit surprised to see it down at 10th. I thought I'd be breaking through.
I don't think people like it has like a crazy play rate still. Like if I look, I assume they lumped it in with Gardevoir here, so like it might be like 4 people.
Well, if you open your Twitter at any time, you'd think it's like 90% of the meta, like the way it's being talked about.
But I mean, yeah, it's getting more play. I mean, it feels like almost inevitable that we'll eventually see a Banette make the top 8. But like, yeah, I think if like a bunch of it seems like a lot of good people are picking it up. Like Piper played it in Louisville, so yeah, it's due eventually. This was
still
the
laughing
other.
at it. Still laughing, bro.
The Promiscuous Girl, bro.
Just the imagery of me walking down the streets blasting this song at full blast.
That's what I thought you were saying you were gonna do, bro.
That's hilarious, bro. That'd be so funny. I might go do that after this. You know,
right.
whatever.
Go film that, bro, and then that can be our opener for next week.
Yo, bet.
I'll live react to you singing.
I'm definitely not doing this. Anyways, carry on.
Oh my goodness. that sucks. This was the other interesting thing to me. We had a Gouging Fire make top 16. Someone made I think top 128 at Louisville. I saw them post on Twitter. So I don't know. The deck's kind of cool. I was messing around with it the other day. Playing Monkey Dory because you're using the Magma Basin. It's actually relevant because you only do 260 with Gouging Fire, so like you can kind of like hit those 280s on stuff like Lugia, Regidrago. My conclusion was like this deck is kind of just like worse Raging Bolt, but it's like more fun. That was kind of my conclusion. Yeah. But I mean, like obviously, it's a decent deck if it's getting top 16 in the regionals. The thing I didn't like about it is it's like its turn 1 isn't as good as Raging Bolts because like you play Secret Box and like you don't play Catcher. Like a lot of times I was just like, oh, like I can knock out your active, but like if it's not a 2-prizer that I care about, like I don't really want to.
Yeah, this won a big tournament in Asia as well last weekend.
Oh, did it?
It did, yeah.
Like
I don't remember exactly where. I couldn't tell you. I saw it on my Twitter, and it looked like it was a big production of prizing. So,
interesting.
Yeah, this deck could be a decent sleeper, honestly. It's very like you said, it's kind of simple. It's very much like Raging Bolt, but your stats on this guy, like this big ass Entei ancient thing, is pretty good. Like the stats are pretty elite on this thing. It has like kind of like that Charizard effect where the card kind of looks underwhelming, but it's not too bad. So I mean, I'm all for meta diversity. I'd love to see this pop up a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. You can use Delphox as well, like Delphox out of nowhere if people just forgot that card exists.
Mhm.
So it's cool. And one thing I was thinking about is like if Pikachu EX ends up being good, like any deck that plays Monkey Dory is actually pretty good into it. So I don't know. Pikachu
I actually
EX
don't
is
know what Pikachu X does, but I'll take your word for it.
wait, bro, what? It's like the main card from Surging Sparks. I swear
Yeah,
we reviewed that one when it
we
was on.
definitely did. I just don't care about these things till I see them
Oh,
in front of me.
well, its ability is like Focus Sash. It's like if it's at full HP and it would be knocked out.
Oh,
It's
okay.
survive with 10, and its attack does
Mm.
300. So it's been getting some hype. So
Yeah, the unfortunate reality about like looking forward to other cards now as well is like by the time it comes out, there's like 50 limitless tournaments telling you what to do.
yeah,
So it like
it's less
I don't know. I
hype.
just don't really look too far in advance.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was looking through the rest of day 2, like it didn't really feel like anything exciting was happening. It felt like a very pedestrian tournament. Shout out Cloth.
Shout out Cloth.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Maybe
was
we can
Lille.
have a look. Maybe we can have a look real quick at one of the Drago lists just to kind of compare where they're at right now.
Sure. So I mean, James he played the same list that John Ang and like Isaiah Bradner, like that group was playing at the Dortmund one. So they are playing the Noctowl. Just from me playing Regidrago, I know we talked about this before. Like I actually really like the Noctowl. It just makes your like games less scuffed. Like just lets you get the E switches, lets you pull off the combos. So he put his faith into like a good testing groups list, and it paid off really well. James is obviously a great player, so yeah, I guess going forward, this is probably like the like blueprint Regidrago deck.
And James was very, very close to not even getting to this point. I watched the Winnin'. That was a very, very interesting game
Like
against Nico Alabas.
his win, and then I think he also had to play asymmetric cut as well. So I
Yeah.
think
Grinded through it for this one.
Yeah.
But that if you guys haven't watched that game, go back and watch that game. That was really, really interesting. The comeback that was made in game 3 was unreal. I also like to your Noctowl point, like I'm still like kind of on the fence about it. I still don't know how I feel. It feels good with and without. So I'm kind of in both minds right now. I saw a couple of the other lists in top 8 actually didn't play it, or maybe one of them. I don't remember, but
I think Alberto didn't play it.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
He
like
had
it's
more
good with or
normal.
without.
Yeah. He actually played a penny, which is like I feel like I have not seen that in Regidrago in a really long time. So just getting a little bit of healing, a little better stall matchup. Otherwise, it's pretty like he cut the Noctowl for one more Iono in the penny.
Yeah, the applications for Penny are like pretty thin, right? Like there's not a ton you're doing with it. What I do like about this list though is you have the 4th vessel, which I find is kind of important at times, and people tend to skimp out on energies and vessels and stuff, and then the deck just does not function.
Yeah, I agree. I like playing. I just like playing 4-ofs in like my deck. So yeah, this is definitely a more consistent take, and then I guess the Noctowl just gives you a little bit more power. So
yeah, it's interesting. Okay, cool. Just want to take a look at a couple of those.
Yeah, no, for sure. Actually, I'm curious about the Raging Bolt if it's similar to Caleb's list. Okay, yeah, it's like this. This seems like the trend is being adopted, playing like the 3 to 4 Bravery Charms. I don't know, wasn't this one? So I think this is close to like Xander Pero's list. This honestly might even be Xander's. Okay, it's not, but it's very, very similar. I know Xander also didn't play a 1 prize attacker.
Bro, 4 charms is a mad thing, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't have a way to draw them, right? Like just naturally.
Yeah.
Or search for them. Sorry. So it's like yeah, you gotta just draw them naturally. So.
And like we thought we got out of like the dog days of Pokemon, and there's like a 300 health basic Pokemon standing in front of you. It's kind of nuts. Like
yeah. Well, yeah, Bravery Charm takes Raging Ball to a 290 HP, which is actually very, very relevant against a lot of
Sorry, yeah,
decks.
290, yeah.
But yeah, it's effectively the same thing. So, yeah, I mean, Raging Bolt still good. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this tournament. It just feels like the decks we know are good. Decks performed. A couple interesting decks, but otherwise, a pretty normal regional.
Yeah, it's kind of status quo.
Yeah, I think is there Gdansk this coming weekend or is it the week after?
Allow me to consult Limitless.
Does Limit have
Great question.
Do they have upcoming?
It is next week, the weekend after.
Okay, cool. So I guess this weekend is kind of like a break, and then we'll have another European regional. And I guess starting to get close to the SC. So.
Yeah, true. There is nothing this weekend. It's kind of weird, actually. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. So no, looking good. So cool. And let's transition here a little bit away from Lille. You and I, we could have talked about this last week, but we were looking at the leaks they had for like all the the guy got hacked who works at Game Freak or something, like all these like sprites and stuff, and like unreleased Pokemon got revealed. So I want to get your opinion. This is what the Gen 3 starters are gonna be. What is your opinion on Rabbit Guy compared to Mudkip?
Yeah, I I don't know. I really like Mudkip, first of all.
Yeah.
I want to just point that out.
You
I'm
like
not a big
Mudkips?
Swampert guy. I do like Mudkips. I do like Mudkips a lot. And I think it stems from, if you guys ever played the original Red and Blue Rescue Team Mystery Dungeon games, a lot of people chose Mudkip. So I think Mudkip's cool. Rabid Guy with an inner tube, I will say, is kind of sick. I'm a fan, actually.
I think it's cool, but I think I like Mudkip better.
Yeah, how this evolves into Swampert, I could never tell
Well,
you.
I don't think it evolves into Swampert. I'm sure they had just a different design. Like,
I thought I saw a Swampert in the original sprites. Like, we'll go through it. I guess we can answer
okay,
that. Trico kind of looks,
the same.
yeah, it kind of looks like a zombie.
So
Like maybe it's the way the head
you
is.
know who he looks like to me? Like, you know the gecko from the Rainforest Cafe, like their
Yeah,
mascot?
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's who
yeah.
he looks like to me.
This guy's built like the Geico lizard, bro.
Yeah.
Can give me 30% off my car insurance. That's pretty good.
And then like
And
Torchic.
Torchic. Yeah, we gotta talk about this.
I don't. So Torchic is my favorite starter. So I'm very glad that this wasn't the design. I think I just like the simple design. The design they ended up going with was much better than this. I don't know what this like wing thing on his head is.
No, this is like real fire chicken. Like this is like confirmed fire chicken.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But I agree with you. I think normal Torchic is better.
Yes. So, well, they had some sprites here. This is Gen 3 stuff. So, actually, one of the things like that I found the most interesting is the sprite over here where it's like Blaziken and Latios combined. Like that, everyone's seen before, right? They said it was a Delibird evolution. I was like, bro, why does Delibird?
What?
Delibird was going to get the sickest evolution. Like Delibird does not deserve like Blaziken and Latias.
Wow. And guys, like this stuff is really, really cool as well. Like, if you haven't had a chance to go through these leaks,
Yes.
like go through them. These are super sick. Like we're not gonna cover everything here, and like I know we're a TCG podcast, but for right now we're a Pokemon podcast. Go through these. Like there is some like leak stuff about like old gym leaders, about like old characters or whatever. Like there's so many cool things, and like discovering them like 20 years after is even cooler. RIP to the Game Freak employees who got their info leaked.
Yes.
That's kind of tough, but the rest of it's pretty cool.
Also, RIP to some Pokemon who had their reputations permanently
Oh
damaged.
my god, man. Holy, y'all, don't look up in Typhlosion. Don't look up Slacking. Don't look up Skyla. What else is there?
I don't even know. Skyla's not that bad. It's just funny. But
Bro, some people at Game Freak were into some whack business, man.
yes.
Like, they need to be investigated.
Yeah, I think for me the thing that was interesting was like a lot of the sprites were like really bad compared to what they ended up being. So I guess these are probably just like, you know, like they sketch it and they refine it. The other cool thing I thought is like a lot of the Pokemon, if you look at it, it's like for example this polar bear. I'm like, oh, like this is definitely what Beartic eventually became. Like this is back in like Gen 3, like they were doing that. So yeah, it's kind of cool looking at some of like my favorites, what they looked like before. Like Tropius, like I don't know what the heck this is. Flygon,
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Like what the heck? Stuff like Hariyama.
That one next to it on the left is pretty cool. The top left.
Yeah, like the like plant thing. So
yeah, there's some cool stuff. Castform was sick back then. I really like the old form of Castform. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Gen 5 stuff, like the Hydreigon, is hilarious to me. I'm like obviously this was like not refined yet, but I was like, what is this?
It's like legit boneless Hydreigon. Crazy.
Toad, yeah.
Was Simisear fat? Is that what I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, it's like Chonky Boy. Simisear.
Damn, bro. Simisear got that Ozempic. Crazy, bro.
Gen 4, they had like Toilet Rotom was gonna be there. We had Skibidi
Rotom.
Rotom.
That is sick.
Yeah, that was funny to me. Not Lickalicky, like originally was like I actually like this design cooler. It was like a rolling thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise
bro, how jokes would that be? You have like Toilet Rotom, that'd be unreal. Like you go in there and like Team Rocket clogged Toilet Rotom and you gotta go like rescue it or something. Like that is sick. I'm so sad that never became a thing.
Yeah, and then there's a lot more sprites we're not going over of Pokemon that just got cut and never got made. So yeah, if you have like a couple hours you want to burn and you like love Pokemon, like the leaks are definitely super interesting. The one thing I was sad about is like it looked like there was like we were supposed to get a Detective Pikachu sequel this year. It looks like it like got canceled or something, or it just didn't come out this year. So
oh, you actually liked that whole thing?
Like the movie was very mediocre, but since I like Pokemon, I liked it. Like I thought like the scene where they were in like New York or not whatever their city was, like all the Pokemon came out. Like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, like the story was like whatever. But
yeah, I was never really huge on it. I always thought it was a little cheesy, but I don't know.
Well, I think they said they're making like a Netflix like live action show with like Falling Red or something. So I'm excited for that one.
Okay, cool.
So, also, you know what else? This is like completely off topic. I was showing some people on the weekend or in Louisville. Have you seen the video like Bidoof's big stand or whatever?
I think I've seen this. Yeah, this rings a bell.
Bro, if you guys haven't seen it, this is like my favorite, not just Pokemon videos. Like, this is my favorite video. Like, it's going on YouTube. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but type in like Bidoof's Big, or it might be Big Day or something. But
I don't
great
even
video.
know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So,
Um, so one other thing I want to talk about real quick, TCG related, before we
okay.
go off on whatever tangent we're about to go off of. I know a long time ago on the shift gear, and like a long time ago now, it was like 8, 9 months. I used to do little market updates, or not like market updates, but I'd speak a little bit to the market. And I think this is the first time in a long time where I have something like very interesting to talk about. So, I almost called you Keyshawn or something. Kieran, if you don't mind, you pull up a TCG player and get us some 151 numbers. So I'm gonna explain to y'all what happened here, and I know a lot of you guys know it already, but this is like interesting, so you can kind of build your knowledge for the future, and you can act on these things when they happen again. So this has happened a few times in the past, but so somebody somewhere, and if you can start from high to low, that'd be great as well. Somebody somewhere decided to buy out all the fire lizards on TCG Player. That one on the right, the Charizard.
The alt art
Um,
or illustration,
yeah.
sorry.
So if you look at the price charting on that, just blow that one up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. so so there's been a bit of a boom, to say the least. And somebody literally bought out all the Charizards on TCG Player and created this like artificial kind of bump. And I'm a huge market guy. I love looking into this stuff, and this has happened a few times in the past. And this is probably going to hold here because somebody bought them all out. So what you're seeing now, and all over the place, is there's a lot of people FOMO buying 151, and you can look at all the cards in the set. Like they've all gone up. People are these like that Blastoise and that Venusaur was like $40 US a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there you go, like $50 US. And all these cards have gone through the roof because of one person who bought out all these Charizards. And I want this to be a lesson that the Pokemon card market is very, very fragile. Either one way or another, you can get burned by these things, and it is always great to hold sealed. You'll never lose unsealed, almost ever. But on singles, you are taking a risk sometimes with these things. This time it worked out for the better. Other times you never know. It could work out for the worse. But right now, if you're sitting on 151, I think now is the time to sell. If you have this stuff and you have duplicates and you don't care about it, now is the time to kind of binge it. It came out earlier today or maybe a couple days ago that there's actually going to be a reprint that nobody thought was existing because the set is like 13 months old now. So there's going to be a reprint in February, both Japanese and English. Sorry, actually, the English reprint isn't confirmed. We have a new premium box coming out though, so there's gonna be more product on the street. Reprint in Japan. No word yet if we're gonna get Master Ball promos or whatever, but just keep in mind, guys, that there's always a lot of volatility in this market, and it seems like right now everything's kind of going through the roof. So it goes through this like 5-year kind of volatile cycle where like we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, and right now we are very, very up across this and across Evolving Skies as well. So it's a little market update.
Well, thank you for the sage advice, Aneil. If the Shift Gear podcast is not liable, if you make bad investment decisions based on our advice.
Facts.
Actually, it's funny TCG player story for Neil. So on the weekend at my cup, I got packs for prizing. They didn't give me store credit. I was gonna open all of them on the Shift Gear. I still kept some, so we can open some later. So I opened one because I was bored, and I pulled this Lacey full art, and I'm like, oh, I pulled a girl character full art. This must be worth a lot of money. And then I went on TCG Player, and like she's worth like $2. So I was
know what is worth a lot of money?
What is that?
Lacey alt art in
Lacey
Japanese.
Okay, the English one's $37.
In Japanese, it's almost 200.
Okay, wow. So honestly, I was kind of like happy to like. I was sad my card's not worth a lot, but I'm like, oh, it gives me some more faith that this card isn't worth that much money. So
yeah. I feel that. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird how so there's obviously a way bigger market for this kind of stuff in Japan. So a lot of the like even Lily and Cynthia stuff like that.
Well, I know Iona went down. Someone told me it went down. Like like the normal floor, it's only $18. I remember this card was a lot of money when it came out. Like.
Well, that's due to like first of all the milk carton thing that came out that had the alt art in it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it also had a Paldean Fates reprint. And then, well, part of it as well was like the card was good. Like it still is very, very good, but it's gone put in the play packs and you get 4 of them in the carton and stuff now. So as the base goes down and as like other art forms come out, people who would be normally using these full arts gravitate to those other alt forms. So that's another like factor to what happens here.
Yeah, because I actually don't like the full art or the box one. I really like the one from Paldean Fates. This one's my favorite one. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. If you look at the illustration rare from the set, that one that you're hovering over the $55 one, This was $100 card at one point. If you go down, it might not even have it on there. You see how high it was at the
Yeah.
beginning, and people were saying like this card is going to go to the moon. Everybody buy this card, buy it out, and this is what I mean. You never know what you're getting. It's always very, very volatile, and I have no doubt in my mind that this card will rebound. Like I absolutely think this card will rebound. Give it a couple years, and you're looking at a very expensive card. But for now, I mean, you can kind of see the negatives of this stock market.
Yeah. So yeah, we're a little light on actual TCG content this week, so like hopefully you guys are enjoying.
Well, you guys can't tell by now. What the hell?
So
we're making it do. This is like an OG shift gear episode where it's just vibes, bro. Like we're just chilling.
Vibes. So Neil,
just chilling.
We've actually made a lot of submissions for Am I in the Wrong. So if I don't read yours every week, it's not because I didn't see it. I don't want to. I'll probably read it eventually. I have to pick only one this week or every week, right? So I thought we'd do ours this week. So the one I got this week that I wanted to highlight, I actually think this one's a really good example, and I think it's a situation that might come up like at regionals, especially regionals, I think. But okay, here's the submission from Anonymous. Actually, sorry, I almost said their name. All right, so my opponent is playing their turn, and they pass, and there's 6 seconds on the timer. Oh, sorry, rather he KOs my active. So I'm thinking of what to promote for 5 to 6 seconds. The timer goes off, and I say to my opponent that he is turn 0 because I haven't drawn yet. My opponent starts being like, what do you mean? How is that fair? That means I only get 1 turn. Expletives. I already attacked. It was your turn.
Expletives. Nice.
I'm like, nah, I didn't draw. My opponent's like, whatever. Anyways, I ended up just letting it go because I didn't want to fight, and I lost the game and ended up tying. Wait, what? Oh, because it was a best of 3. I lost the game and ended up tying. I just wish sometimes I maybe had sort of a backbone. Would I have been in the wrong if I like made my opponent be turn 0?
So sorry. So his opponent complained and cussed at him, and then he was like,
I don't think he
"Yo,
actually
never
cussed.
mind."
I think the guy who said it and just like put that apart.
Okay. But anyway, so like his opponent was mad, and then he was just like, "Never mind, JK, I can be turn 0." Like, is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. I think like the opponent got upset about it, and like started saying like, "Oh, like you should have drawn right away," and then like he's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to fight, so like I'll just be turn 0."
So this might show a little bit of the beautiful game. So as you guys know, I'm a soccer coach, and unfortunately, time wasting is a very big part of this sport. And this is something I even teach my students. Sometimes there are times where you have to play the clock to your advantage. I think that could be one of those times, but in that sense, like there's only 5 seconds on the clock. Like I think even in a normal time, you are going to take 5 seconds to think about this, unless you have an obvious like, oh, here's a Pidgeot or here's like my attacker for the turn, right? Like then you're promoting instantly. But I think as long as you're within 10 seconds, you're within the rules, you are fine to, if you need to, take your 10 seconds to do this, despite the complications of what's going on. So you're not stalling, you're playing absolutely within the rules, but you're taking your time to do your thought process. And I think that the fact that it was 5 to 6 seconds and nothing more than that, I think puts you in the right in the sense that your opponent should be turn 0. Do I like the rule? No. I've always hated this ruling. This has come up multiple times. I don't think this should be a thing. But yeah, I don't think you're in the wrong at all. I think you could have kept it. You could have said, hey man, you're turn 0. I took less than 6 seconds to figure my thing out. Like I'm well within the rules. I see no problem with you doing that. But I do understand that it's tough in a pressure situation, especially if somebody is actually cussing at you, which would be kind of crazy. But
yeah, I mean, like your opponent is very clearly the one they're wrong. Like you should never be pressuring your opponent to like for something that's legal. Like your opponent should have just played faster. Like they should have known how much time was left. They probably should have ended their turn with like 30 seconds left or something. So don't ever feel bad about like going by the rules, right? I think technically what you did is like illegal, even like you're just supposed to be turn 0. You can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna let you be turn 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't feel bad. Your opponent should feel bad if a judge comes over. Let that happen. I mean, I've had that situation come up where my opponent, pretty notable player, got pretty upset that they were turn 0, and I was just like, bro, like that's your fault. You should have played faster. Like I said, as long as you're not stalling. There was a very famous stream game once where someone took like 45 seconds to promote and like had this trigger. And the judges ruled pretty poorly, in my opinion, and they let the other player like just let them be turn 0, which wasn't good. But yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, don't ever feel bad about like enforcing the rules if you did nothing wrong. And just in that situation, I would just call the judge over and just explain what happened. And the judge should be the one who should mediate for you and just be like to your opponent, be like, hey, like you're turn 0. So
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing too, and like, I mean, and the absolute unfortunate circumstance of this whole thing is that it's really, really tough to enforce time,
yeah.
anywhere really. Even I know I just mentioned soccer. Like in soccer, you have 6 seconds as a goalkeeper to drop kick a ball. How many times do you think a goalkeeper actually drop kicks a ball within 6 seconds? It's got to be like towards the end of game, it's got to be 10%. Like nobody actually plays by it, and it's because it's so hard for a referee to enforce it. So it's hard for your opponent to sit there as well, even if you took 12 seconds to do this. Entirely unintentionally, I'm speaking, right? Like at this point, like if I hope you're not intentionally wasting 12 seconds to do this, but even if you took 12 seconds, it's really hard for your opponent to be like, hey, judge, my opponent took 12 seconds precisely to promote, and this is what pushes into time. Your opponent's still going to probably end up as turn zero. Like it's really, really hard to enforce these things. So as long as you're being reasonable, I don't think there's any issue to it. That's kind of always been my philosophy to it. It's obviously play as fast as you can. Don't be a weenie, but do what you like. Like you're well within your right to take 10 seconds to think about what to promote. It's a game altering play, right?
Yeah, as long as you're not doing anything unethical or like acting with malice, like you're not in the wrong. Like if you, for example,
Yeah.
took 30 seconds because you were legitimately thinking about what to promote, and then that happened, then I would say like yes, then your opponent shouldn't be turn zero because then you went over. Then like a judge should be able to understand, like give a time extension or something in that scenario. But yeah, like this was unintentional. Your opponent played slow, not your fault. So,
Yeah.
cool. No, actually, we have one more TCG related thing we can talk about today. There
Do
was
it.
some new cards revealed. Shout out to Wanley as always for translating. I don't think they're that good. I was a bit excited when I saw Blaziken EX. Blaziken's my favorite Pokemon. They basically just gave Blaziken's like its old ability from Ruby Sapphire,
Mm.
where it's once during your turn you can attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon. Its attack is like whatever, it's 2 for 200. I don't know. I just think the game is too fast for an ability like this to be like super good. We've seen like other Pokemon that have abilities like you can attach an extra energy per turn. Like Quaquaval has that one. So, I mean, this comes from board, not from like hand or whatever. So maybe one day this could be decent if something comes out. I just find it might
I
be a
see a
little hard.
world. I see a world where this could be okay. I mean, I don't think it's good by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe there comes a world where you're playing a fire deck with rare candies anyways, and somehow this benefits you. This is one of those cards that you're going to forget about for
Yeah.
about a year, and then they might print something that just makes us broken. And we've seen this so many times. And like this might be one of those things where I mean, obviously the ability is very vanilla. Kind of just put a basic energy back, and we have Ogremon, we have some other accelerators in the format, so maybe it's not as attractive right now, but I wouldn't rule this out to be decent eventually.
Yeah.
I also really do like the art on this. I think the art's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, we've seen a lot of decks lately incorporating those 101 lines, so maybe eventually this could be a 101 line even in a deck that needs that little extra, like maybe it's a 2 energy attacker or something. So,
Yeah.
could be decent. Next up is Bronzong. It's just your Pokemon take 10 less damage from attacks. 10 less damage is like almost irrelevant with how big HP is now, and it's a stage 1 that doesn't have any synergy or a good attack. I
I
can't
like
really
that
see.
first response on the right. How the mighty have fallen. They have Metal
Yeah,
Link
yeah, yeah.
song right there.
Yeah, that's one of my. I love Metal Link's Bronzong. I got second at Nationals with that one. Lost to
That
someone who
knocked me
won.
out of nationals one year.
Did it really?
Top four. I lost to Bronzong in top four.
Oh, you lost to Chase Maloney. That's right.
I did. Yeah. I bricked twice in a row. I got Bronzonged.
Yeah, because I feel like you had a good matchup into that one too, the Arbiter. So
I really did.
unfortunate, you could have been national champion, Neil.
Oh well. Get them next time when they come back in like 30 years.
Yes. Lilligant, the attacks your grass Pokemon, fire Pokemon do 20 more damage to opponent's active. Again, on the surface, not that good, but it's like if there's ever like a matchup or like math or a deck that needs to just do 20 plus, like this is an easy thing to slot in.
This belongs on a Charum, this ability, for the record. This is really weird to see this on a Lilligant. Speaking of Charum, speaking of Gen 4, I made a really crazy investment. I spent $650 on some Mysterious Treasures packs that
Oh
I
my
may or may
goodness.
not open on Shift Gear. So might have a fun thing coming up soon
Mysterious.
on Shift Gear.
Oh.
Mysterious. Yeah, this was simply for my nostalgia
not
purposes.
this.
Yeah, I did not buy that for $650. I'll tell you that.
Wait, Mysterious Treasures.
Yeah.
In Pokemon sets. Okay. Yeah, $100
Yeah,
a
that's
pack.
the
That's
one.
US dollars. So Neil said is saying Canadian. So
And these ones that I bought are guaranteed unweighed. So that's like loose pack value. So this one was kind of like from a breaker, so they're guaranteed unweighed. We might crack one on the Shift Gear. And I bought this because like I look at these cards and they bring me back to my childhood. And I know it does a lot of that for you guys as well. And what's funny and what's stupid about this whole thing is the thing I'm looking forward to the most about hopefully opening these is just smelling the cards. Like, you know, the cards just like a very
yeah, they have a
specific
new card
scent.
smell. Yeah, I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
I am so excited to just smell these cards. So
So,
I'm really excited for that.
how many did you buy? You said 4 or 3?
I bought 4.
So you spent like 150 a pack?
Correct.
So even if you pull the rarest
Bit
card
more.
in the set, we still lose money?
No, so these all graded 10s are over $1,000.
Okay. So
Even
we,
the hollows. Like a
okay.
lot of them are over $1,000. So it's because at this time the card stock, and if any of you own any like cards from this era, you know the card stock's really thin. This set and Secret Wonders back to back. So Secret Wonders came out right after Mysterious Treasures. They debuted this like weird film where they almost all the hollows have hollow bleed. So if you look down on
Mm,
like the text of the card, they'll all have hollow bleed, and that's just because the card stock was made differently. I don't know what they were doing at that time, but so these cards specifically very, very difficult to get in a high grade. And so
interesting.
I have very, very low hopes for what I'm pulling out of these packs. Like these have been loose packs that have been loose for years, so they've probably been banged up a little bit. But if you can get any of these cards in a 10, you're laughing.
Okay, well, I look forward to us opening. That'd be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Old cards. Okay, next up we have a Sylveon. It just has Safeguard. We've seen like they're printing a bunch of EVs, like EV support. So I mean,
hmm
like this is just good. Like you can just slot this into your EV deck. If you play Espeon in your deck, Espeon uses Psychics, you can attack with this. It's a very boring card, but it's definitely just a solid card. Safeguard's
Yeah.
almost always good. And like the V's
Wellness
are gonna,
Guys 2 is coming.
yeah, the V's are gonna rotate because it doesn't block V's, but once the V's rotate, this will be decent. Tapu Koko, 60 plus 20 more for each of your bench Pokemon. This just seems like worse Raikou.
Why do they do this? I actually don't understand why they print so many like bulk ultra rares.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe though, like if you're playing like the Area Zero or even just your bench, I mean, like you can like take it. So yeah, if you put 8 bench Pokemon, you do 220.
220.
I guess, but with Raikou, bro, if I put 8 bench Pokemon, like I'm already doing 180. Like, is my opponent not gonna have at least 2 bench Pokemon?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
And you
Raikou's,
fleet footed. Yeah, I
yeah.
guess you don't have free retreat, but you have fleet footed. Like that, I would rather
Oh,
take
this
fleet
has free
footed than free
retreat
retreat.
actually. Wait. Okay, that actually changes things. I didn't even notice that. Okay, maybe this is like okay then. Like me.
I still don't think it does anything. Like it's kind
Well,
of
free retreat's really nice though. It's like nice little pivot. I mean, you play Mew EX already, so like maybe like this replaces that. I don't know. Mew EX has Jaws cards though, so
I
I'm
guess.
I'm not excited for this card, but it's interesting, I guess.
Neither am I. And my beef with this whole like ultra rare bulk thing is even kids don't find these exciting. We're just wasting gloss and paper from the world now.
Okay, Alchemy EX. Do you know what its basic is called? I always forget its name.
Milcery. I love Milcery.
Milcery. Okay.
Yeah.
Once during your turn, you can heal 30 from one of your Pokemon. I think just unfortunate that's just not enough damage anymore. It doesn't have enough health. There's too many one shots in the format. I don't really foresee this being that good.
Oh, I'm just reading the reply on the side. Oh, the creamy. No, why are you asked? Oh man, yeah, this card's not very good. Just to put it lightly,
Yeah.
this card's kind of trash.
Okay, last one here. We have Toad Scroll. There's like a lot of Toad Scrolls, right? So there's some other good
Yeah,
Toad Scrolls. You can play this. When it's on your bench, your active Pokemon's retreat cost is 2 colorless less. I feel like they could have just in the active like let itself have free retreat, but
yeah.
I don't know.
This is
We've
kind of
seen
cool actually.
yeah, like we've had the art's really cool too. I like the art.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like fine if there's ever a deck that needs to like retreat every turn, like a lock deck or something. Like maybe you could play this, but I can't right away. I can't see many applications for this. So
Well, the one thing I do like about this card, and like it's one of very few applications, but there are Toad Scrolls in existence already, as you mentioned, that are quite good. So you can maybe find a world where you can sprinkle this in as like I remember back in the day, man, like there's times where you'd play like 5 of the evolving Pokemon and 4 of the basic if the evolving Pokemon had different names or
yeah,
whatever, right? Like maybe this is a time where you do that. Like this seems like one of those cards that could be a good complementary piece to something bigger,
yeah, it seems
which
okay.
may or may not exist. I'm just trying to make news out of a card that's otherwise quite newsless.
Yeah, so anyway, that's all our new cards for the week.
All right,
So
cool.
is it time for me to open some packs, Aneil?
Rip them. Let's go.
All right, we have 3 packs of Stellar Crown. So I think
All right.
the best card I can get is Terapagos illustration art, right?
That's the one.
What are
Going
some
right
other
next to me.
what are some other good cards I could get?
Out of this set, there's not a whole lot, dude. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, look, the guy we were talking about, the
Yo,
Milcery.
Milcery, my dog.
Okay, Milcery. Okay, my camera's like really bad. But you guys can tell what I'm
Holy, we got freaking primetime Pokemon over here.
getting. Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Locked in.
All right, Area Zero, Abominable, Lechonk. Brigadier. Oh, Rhyperior. Nice.
Yo, if y'all haven't clicked off by now, please seek help.
Alright, next pack. Hey, we have loyal fans, man. Loyal listeners.
No, yeah, y'all are real. For real. You guys are all real.
They're gonna watch me pull Terapagos altar, bro. Saturday night.
On the pod.
Hey, Clink.
Yo, Clink, let's go.
Maybe
Clink.
is Clink Clang in the set? I think it is, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Let's pull Clink Clang. Briar. Okay, the next card's my rare, right?
Yeah, you already missed the opportunity for Metacham. Useless. It sucks. But hey, great.
Chiatsu. I remember we said this card is like 2 stars or something. All right,
if you hit an art rare, it's going to be in the reverse slot. So as soon as you pass those 2 reverse slots, your dream's already dead. Sorry to break it to you.
Okay, well, Kling Clang comes in the rare slot, right?
That is true. That is true. We could hit a Kling Clang here.
Okay, Joltik, Chinchou, Yamask, Bombardier, whatever it's called, Jirachi,
Bombardier,
Luminion. Okay, so alt rare would be the next one.
Yeah, potentially.
Nope. Okay, ready? I actually want to get Kling Clang. I don't even want an EX.
Yeah, what do we got? What do we got?
Oh, Alcremie.
Alcremie. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, and Fire.
Fire. Yeah, you see, and this is exactly why views are down across the Pokemon TCG mediaverse right now. There's nothing to talk about besides opening jank packs we got from a League Cup. Thank you for the pack opening, though. That was great.
Thank you. The art on the I actually love it. Like, I mean, my camera's really bad, but in the back, it's like there's a bunch of like sweets and stuff, and like the hollow pattern like is cool. Like Alchemy like stands out. So.
Yeah, I'm actually quite upset they put hollows in every pack now. It feels like they lost their luster a little bit.
Yeah. Bro, the worst was in black and white when they made the hollows be like the horizontal lines. Like, I hate it when they did that.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. Oh. Diamond Pearl is the best hollows ever. And
I really like the Diamond Pearl hollows. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's wrap this up. I think we've wasted enough people's time. If you guys are still here, please let us know in the comments below. We appreciate y'all being here all the way through. I think, and I am yet to confirm this, Ciaran, but I think we might have a little history lesson for the masses next week. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, we haven't picked a topic yet. So if you guys have topics you want, put them in the comments.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a classic like Shift Gear top 10 video where we kind of like do our research and present it to you all like a school project, and it educates you on what this game used to be. And we talk like old heads, and you guys call us onk because we keep saying like, "Yo, the game used to be so much better," and you guys are like, "Shut up, old man." So that's kind of how this goes. But yes, let us know if there's any topics down below. Let us know your "Am I in the wrong?" Entries. I guess we're calling them entries. It's a contest. Yeah. Let us know down below. We reply to every comment all the time, but we will see you next Wednesday. All right, guys. Take care.
See you guys later. Bye.
Peace.